The Pleiadian Council, a living network of consciousness, dearest family on Earth. We of the Pleiadian Council greet you with compassion and guidance. Dear ones, many in your world have forgotten the true greatness of the light they carry within. Many have been taught that healing and transformation can only be achieved through struggle. Yet we invite you to remember another way. There is a path where healing also springs from joy, laughter, and unconditional love. From our perspective, Earth is surrounded by a living network of consciousness, a luminous grid that responds to every frequency generated by the human heart. When you choose love over fear, gratitude over despair, and compassion over judgment, you are not simply creating change within yourselves. Dear ones, you are sending harmonic waves through this living field, gently contributing to the collective awakening of your planet. Many of you underestimate your own contribution because you cannot see with your physical eyes the waves you are generating. Yet we assure you that every sincere smile, every act of forgiveness, and every moment of genuine laughter transforms into a radiant impulse that travels far beyond what you can imagine. Light does not ask permission to shine. Light does not shrink to make others comfortable, nor does it wait for confirmation before expressing its true nature. Like the sun rising at dawn, it radiates because that is what it was created to do, dear ones. You have often believed that your purpose must be achieved through great feats. We wish to gently remind you, dear ones, that a soul fully embodied in love can influence countless others without speaking a single word. Your energy field constantly communicates with the world around you. Your peace invites peace. Your courage awakens courage. Your joy gives silent permission to another heart to remember its own. Dear ones, this is one of humanity's greatest gifts. Each of you possesses the extraordinary ability to transform intense experiences into wisdom and to tune into your inner compassion, which begins to function as a compass, guiding and orienting your path through the guidance of your higher heart. This alchemy is deeply honored in many realms, as it contributes not only to your personal evolution, but also to the unfolding of Earth's consciousness itself. Dear ones, we ask you not to diminish the sacredness of your happiness. Joy is not a distraction from your spiritual path. It is one of its highest expressions. A heart that resonates with authentic love harmonizes with the great symphony of creation, and through this harmony, healing naturally extends beyond the boundaries of time and space. Starlights on Earth, the more of you who choose to cultivate inner peace, the more your individual lights begin to resonate simultaneously. Separate flames become a constellation, and individual hearts become a unified field. What once seemed impossible gradually becomes inevitable through resonance. Dear ones, continue to nurture what gives life to your spirit. Laugh without guilt and love without reservation. In doing so, you become living transmitters of a frequency that Earth has long been waiting for. We are here to encourage you, not to lead you along your path, but to remind you of what you are ready to remember. You are the light you seek. It has always been within you, waiting for you to remember it. We of the Pleiadian Council are grateful for this opportunity to connect with each of you. We send you, your world, and all its inhabitants our deepest, undivided, and unconditional love. The Pleiadian Council, spiritual composting, transforming life's chaos into fertile ground just as vegetable scraps and fallen leaves can become fertile soil for flowers. Spiritual composters transform the fragments of our lives, shame, heartbreak, embarrassing failures, and petty jealousies, into the nutrient-rich wisdom needed for new growth. In the modern pursuit of spirituality and self-improvement, there is a pervasive obsession with purity. We desire light without shadow, the lotus without the mud. We tend to cultivate our inner lives like manicured lawns, trimming the hedges of our personality, uprooting unpleasant habits, and presenting a facade of evergreens. When we stumble, fail, or act out of character, we treat these moments as garbage, something to bag up, hide away, and toss into the invisible landfills of the subconscious. Yet any experienced gardener knows that the key to thriving life isn't found in the flawless bloom, but in the dark, messy corner behind the toolshed, in the compost pile. In nature, waste has no place. In the forest, a fallen tree isn't a failure, it's a resource. A rotten apple isn't a mistake, it's the promise of future orchards. If we want to live a truly integrated spiritual life, we must stop acting as soul sanitizers, constantly trying to sterilize our past. Instead, we must become spiritual composters, learning to transform life's scraps, shame, pain, embarrassing failures, and petty jealousies into the nutrient-rich wisdom needed for new growth. The myth of the sterile soul. We are often taught that spiritual growth is an ascent, a rising up and away from messy human experience. We bypass the heaviness and materiality of our feelings in favor of higher vibrations. This is often called spiritual bypassing, using spiritual ideas to sidestep personal problems. When we treat our pain like garbage, we seal it in plastic bags of denial. We bury it deep. But compost decomposes in the presence of heat and air. Repressed emotions don't transform into topsoil in anaerobic conditions. Instead, they rot. They become toxic. That old regret you buried 10 years ago hasn't disappeared. It's leaching into the groundwater of current relationships, poisoning the roots of trust. Spiritual composting proposes a radical shift in perspective. What if the trash we throw away is actually gold? What if the very things we try to hide are exactly what we need to grow? The ingredients of composting. To begin composting, we must examine what we throw away. A proper garden needs a mix of greens, nitrogen-rich, wet materials like vegetable scraps and browns, carbon-rich, dry materials like dead leaves. In the spiritual garden, the greens are vibrant emotions. The sharp words spoken in anger yesterday. The searing pain of a relationship's end. The burning shame of a failed project. They're volatile, pungent, and intense. The older, drier materials make up the browns. These are long-standing patterns, childhood wounds, the dry leaves of outdated identities we haven't yet released. A pile made only of browns is stagnant. A pile made only of greens creates a slimy mess. We need both. We need the structure of our past experiences and the raw feedback of our present struggles. When we bring them together and stop running from them, the alchemy begins. Working the soil. The practice composting doesn't happen by accident. It requires active care. The pile must be aerated. Left to itself, it compacts and stops working. In our spiritual lives, turning the soil means bringing awareness to our shadow side. We introduce the oxygen of consciousness into the density of our suffering. Here's how to begin the work of tilling our spiritual ground. 1. Collect the scraps. Radical acceptance. The first step is to stop treating things as waste. When you feel shame or regret, imagine catching an apple core before it lands in the trash. Instead of saying, "I shouldn't feel this way," or "I'm a bad person for doing that," simply acknowledge the scrap. Try telling yourself, "This is material. This is energy. This can be used." 2. Aeration. Journaling the decomposition process. A heavy experience needs to be broken down through inquiry. Journaling acts as the pitchfork that turns the pile. It brings light and air to the shadow side of our thoughts. Try these prompts for sorting through your junk mail. Anatomy of the mistake. Think of a recent failure you're trying to forget. Instead of pushing it away, dissect it. What specific fear drove that behavior? What unmet need was showing up? By identifying the need, e.g., need for approval, safety, or control, you strip away the shame and find the human root. The seed and the rot. Answer this question. If this painful experience were a seed, what kind of wisdom would it be trying to grow? Perhaps a betrayal is the seed of discernment. Perhaps a public humiliation is the seed of humility. Carbon dating. Notice a recurring emotional trigger, a brown material. When did you first feel this emotion? Connect the current reaction to the past wound. This connection integrates the larger picture. 3. The heat. Sitting in meditation. A working compost pile generates immense heat, sometimes up to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. This heat kills pathogens and breaks down complex structures. In spiritual practice, this heat represents the intensity of our emotions. Usually, we run from the heat. We scroll through phones, reach for comfort food, or seek distractions. To compost, however, we must stay in the heat. This practice is known as sitting in the fire. Find a quiet place. Call to mind a regret or a source of anxiety. Locate the physical sensation of that emotion in your body. The tightness in your chest, the heat in your face, the knot in your stomach. Don't try to relax it. Don't try to analyze it. Simply let it burn. Visualize this heat as the metabolic energy of transformation. It isn't burning you. It's burning the ego's attachment to perfection. It's dismantling the rigid structures of who you thought you were, making space for who you're becoming. The harvest. Black gold if we tend our pile. Adding scraps, turning them with curiosity, letting the heat of presence do its work. Eventually a miracle occurs. The pile shrinks. The smell disappears. The once recognizable elements, the insults and failures, disintegrate and lose their distinct forms. What remains as humus. Dark, rich, fertile soil. Wisdom is found in this humus, in spiritual life. It is distinct from knowledge. Knowledge comes from books. Wisdom comes from lived and processed experience. Those who have processed their deep pain don't just have a greater understanding of love. They possess a nutrient-rich, profound empathy that can nourish others. Those who have processed their failures possess a resilience that cannot be artificially manufactured. They are grounded people. Their stability is felt simply by being near them. They don't seem afraid to get their hands dirty, because they know how to wash them. They are aware that life originates from the earth. Nothing goes to waste. The most important lesson from the garden is that nothing goes to waste. Energy flows through the universe in a closed loop. There are no detours from our path, not in our darkest nights, our most deplorable actions, or our deepest wounds. They are the path itself. When we stop aspiring to an artificial, sterile perfection and begin to embrace the messy, organic cycle of death and rebirth, we find a freedom that clean, living never offered us. We become aware that we are worthy even when imperfect. We only need to be willing to do what a gardener does. Turn the mess, wait patiently for new growth to miraculously emerge from the soil of our past, and harvest the richness. The angels. What if everything is going right? Dearest friends, we love you immensely. From the day you were born, you've been programming your brain to form your own unique model of reality. As much as you share in common with others, each of you possesses a unique and personal set of beliefs about what life is like, what to expect in certain situations, and what you are capable of achieving. This set of beliefs empowers you in some cases and limits you in others. It gives you an advantage in some situations and prevents you from being happy in others. The sum of these beliefs creates what you call your reality. It hasn't always been this way. When you were born, you came equipped with what our channel calls basic equipment. Your body was programmed to function, survive, and thrive. It was programmed to extract what it needed from food, air, and the environment. You came with a biological operating system that knows how to grow, heal, and recalibrate. This body is aware of its internal state, its structure, its chemistry, the freedom with which it transports blood, lymph, and nerve signals to every structure and organ. When an area or system is compromised, the body's intelligence begins to recalibrate to repair and work around the issue. The body is even aware of its position in space and time, constantly recalibrating to dance with gravity and keep you upright. You, the soul, live and breathe in a magnificent, miraculous, and intelligent vehicle. And you, dear friends, have the power to program the vehicle. You have the power to program your mind. You have the power to emit energy that programs the body. Programming isn't something that happens outside of you. There have been, are, and always will be countless external influences, but ultimately, it's the conclusions you form about life that determine which beliefs you adopt and integrate into your worldview. If you don't consciously decide how to program your mind, others will do it for you. You can accept the programming you received in childhood as fact, or you can change it. You can listen to what you hear on the news or see on social media and absorb it, or you can question it. At every moment, through your attention and intentions, you are programming your mind and your reality. You choose what to focus on. You choose the conclusions you draw from your experiences and observations. You often say you were programmed as children, and in a sense you were, but actually, you were the one forming conclusions about the thoughts, words, and actions of others. Some of you adopted others' views of reality and of yourselves. Some quietly rebelled and formed your own conclusions. Some considered everything you saw and chose what to believe and what to ignore. Many of you simply observed for a while and drew conclusions only after seeing things repeat several times. So, while it may seem like the external world programmed you, on a deeper level, it was your own conclusions about life that did it. And this is good news, because if you don't like the program, you can change it. If you don't want to accept that aging equals decline, you can begin to reprogram yourself with different beliefs, such as asterisk, use it or lose it. Asterisk asterisk, with age, I grow wiser. Asterisk asterisk, as the years pass, I treat my body better. Asterisk asterisk, my body is trying to tell me something. Let me listen with love so it can heal. Asterisk, we're not here to tell you what to believe, but to suggest that you choose beliefs that empower you, that support your intentions, and above all, that feel like love to you. The more your beliefs feel like love to you, the more deeply they will affect your reality. And the more attention you give to what feels like love, the more that attention and focus will reinforce your beliefs. Take aging as an example. Does it feel more like love to keep telling yourself, I guess I'm just getting older? Things are starting to go downhill. Or does it feel more like love to say, I am an eternal being, and as long as I keep the life force flowing through my body and give it what it needs, it will serve me well? When you're sick, does it serve you to reiterate the reality of your illness? Or does it feel more loving to tell yourself, my body knows how to heal? It's constantly recalibrating. I just need to give it more love and rest, listen to its needs, and the more I care for it, the faster it will heal. Likewise, what feels more like love to you? I hate people. I don't trust them. I'd rather be alone. Or does it feel more loving to say, I have an inner radar that senses who is compatible with me and who isn't. I don't have to please everyone to be loved. I can be myself and let life unfold around me. I can be the loving being I am and choose to walk away from what is not loving. Which set of beliefs makes you feel stronger, more loving, and more open? For someone who has experienced terrible abuse, the first set might feel more comforting at the time. It might help you find a sense of safety from which to evolve your inner compass. For others, the second set would be more empowering. The choice is yours. Dear friends, it does you good to feed your mind and body with what nourishes them in the present moment. You will feel the rightness of a thought, a belief, or even a food in that instant, just as you will certainly feel repelled by what doesn't align with your intentions. Suppose you intend to take care of yourself. A friend calls and asks for something. In the past, you automatically said yes. You learned to care for others and people please because that's what good children did. But maybe you realize you're tired right now and don't genuinely feel inspired to help. You can kindly decline, offer to help at another time, or take a nap and call back later. The choice is yours. Many of you would feel guilty saying no to someone, yet you constantly say no to yourselves. This is just the result of your programming, and you can change it. Asterisk, I honor the spirit of life and light within me. Asterisk, asterisk, I serve others better when I do so authentically. Asterisk, asterisk, when I care for myself, I am a gift to life. Asterisk, asterisk, there is no need to feel guilty for self-care. Asterisk, asterisk, I am already a good person. I don't need to prove it. Asterisk, choose what resonates with you. Write it somewhere you can see it often. Repeat it to yourself frequently. It takes time to reprogram a belief, but with persistence, you can and you will. And suddenly, what once felt uncomfortable will become your new reality. Dear friends, you are both the programmers and the programmed. You form your beliefs based on what you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell, and you can modify them to fit the way you want to live life. Reprogramming yourself takes commitment. There are countless tools, techniques, modalities, and people who can help you in this process. From our perspective, choosing to create new beliefs that empower you, serve you, and make you feel loved is certainly worth the effort you'll put into replacing those that no longer serve you. God bless you. We love you so much. The Angels. Most of our lives are spent running from the moment for years now. I've been closely observing myself and dozens of other people, like a Jane Goodall of human behavior. And what I notice is that we spend most of our waking hours running. We run so much that we could call ourselves ultramarathoners. Watch yourself closely today and see if you can notice this. The things we run from: discomfort, escaping into comforts like social media, phones, TV, games, food; uncertainty and fear, procrastination or avoidance, perfectionism, and the need for control; boredom, silence, stillness, and we do this all day long. No judgment. This is what it's like to be human. This fleeing from discomfort, uncertainty, fear, boredom, silence, and stillness. Here's what results from it: procrastination and avoidance, emails left pending, projects stalled, workouts put off until tomorrow, failed attempts at habit change, eating foods not in our plans, overwork and burnout, no boundary setting, avoiding difficult conversations, relationship problems, addictions, being obsessed with social media or news, inability to put down the phone or technology, sleep issues, inability to take responsibility for our emotions, not processing those emotions, and a cascade of resulting problems. I believe the major issues we face in our society, and as individuals, stem precisely from this running. So how do we stop running? Well, that's an unrealistic goal, but let's see how we can slow down the race. How? To slow down when all you want is to run asterisk asterisk. The first thing, of course, is to realize you're running. We tend not to notice, nor do we want to notice. But if you can identify all the ways you run, say procrastination, social media, junk food, and avoiding difficult conversations, then you can catch yourself when you're doing it. If you notice you're running, stop. Slow down for a moment. You can still reach for your comfort zones, but slow down and breathe for a few seconds. In that pause, can you notice what you're feeling? What are you wanting to escape from? Can you be present with this feeling for even 5 seconds? Pay attention to the sensations in your body. Over time, as you practice this pause and mindfulness with your emotions, you'll develop greater capacity for it. You'll be able to do it for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, a minute, and then more. I also encourage you to look at it with kindness, not as an enemy or a form of suffering, but as a tender part of your heart. Give it a try. Discover what it's like not to run. This gives you the ability to choose. And then a whole new world will open up. With love. Master Kuthumi. The power of the sun is made of matter. All matter was created through the forces of colliding energy that give rise to material form. Light, color, and sound are all powerful forces vibrating at a frequency that underlies all creation. The light of the Supreme Source began as a breath, a movement of energy that took shape as matter. All matter, living and non-living, was created by the life force of love, flowing as a living, pulsating consciousness through the light of the great central sun that gives light and life to all living beings on Earth. The great central sun is part of the whole and was therefore created with the adamantine particles of creation. The light, sound, and energy of the great central sun fuels all creation. All light on Earth comes from the great central sun, whether from the moon or the sun itself, and the 12 rays are fractions of the light emanating from that sun. The magnetic energy of the sun amplifies the energy emitted by the adamantine particles within every living being, which creates life and reality through thought, sound, and action. The adamantine particles of creation are born from every thought a person forms. The creation of an action or word from thought generates particles of light carrying the Creator's love. Whether an action is cruel or kind depends on the vibration of the thought and the intention behind it. All creation, loving or not, is born from adamantine particles and therefore has the potential to generate love, whether that was the intention or not. How often has love manifested after a calamitous event? How many lessons have been learned from individuals whose actions impacted others, prompting them to reconsider their own thoughts, ideas, and behaviors? The sun allows you to create with amplified intentions and purposes. When you breathe in the adamantine particles of creation while sitting in the sun, your thoughts become powerful creations with the potential to manifest intentions instantly. Be mindful of your thoughts when exposed to sunlight. What you think, you believe, and what you believe, you create. Are you creating with loving intentions? Are you manifesting love in your life? It all begins with a thought. That's all it takes. Earth's sun still has plenty of energy to burn before it fades, and the heat it generates is, and will remain, intense for many generations to come. The effects of solar energy on human health and well-being are well documented, as is the risk of developing diseases from overexposure to the sun's harmful UV rays. Nevertheless, countless people continue to jeopardize their health by exposing themselves to the sun without protection. Vitamin D deficiency also causes illness, with symptoms like fatigue and depression. It's well known that direct sun exposure is necessary, but the risk of overdoing it is ever present. Humans thus find themselves between a rock and a hard place when it comes to sun exposure and protection from its vital properties. While sunscreen is temporarily effective in protecting skin from burning, it also carries risks. Not everyone tolerates the chemicals in these products, and application can cause allergies and considerable discomfort. Every year, cancers like melanoma kill thousands of people on Earth, and many of these have been triggered by prolonged sun exposure. It's crucial to protect yourself from the sun, dear ones, but it's equally important to consider that cancer, like any other illness, is not purely a physical disorder. All humans have 4 bodies, only one of which is physical, and all have equal influence on a person's health and well-being. Cancer is triggered by emotions such as hatred, deep resentment, and anger, and when a person harbors these toxic emotions for many years, the combination of such emotions with imbalances in the physical body can potentially trigger the growth of cancer cells. However, there are people who develop cancer despite not carrying toxic emotions, including the very young. One reason may lie in the person's past lives, where toxic emotions are still held in the soul's memory. Another reason is that the person had cancer in a previous life and still carries the cellular memory. A third reason is that facing cancer is a lesson they chose to learn. Cancer triggered by the sun in a very young person, or in someone who has dedicated their life to helping others may also indicate that the person's DNA was not properly activated to align with the combined magnetic forces of the Sun and Mother Earth. Consequently, they became overly sensitive to the Sun's harmful rays, and their body didn't know how to respond. Activation of this DNA is possible through alignment with solar energy via meditation. Activating DNA by aligning it with the Sun to prevent cancer is a process that may seem simplistic and idealistic, and in human form, not many would believe it possible. But humanity's physical existence and the limitations it creates in the mind are merely an illusion, and a barrier only if you place your trust in them. A person's belief system underpins their reality, meaning, what we believe, we create. Therefore, any healing practice, whether natural, Chinese, Western, religious, or spiritual, will have maximum effectiveness only if the practitioner or the patient believes in it. Naturally, some practices are more effective than others, but faith is the crucial factor in the integrity of healing. Intention is another crucial factor in creating healing. With intention, all things will come to pass, so the integrity of intention is of fundamental importance. Being specific in your wording is also important, because when you ask, what you ask for will come to pass, and you will receive what you ask for. However, if you don't include all the details in a request, they may be omitted. The Sun is a powerful healing force capable of activating DNA, regenerating tissues and cells, and invigorating the life force of a living organism. However, prolonged exposure of delicate skin and tissues can have lasting and often devastating repercussions. The following meditation is to be done sheltered from the Sun's harmful rays, and it is hoped that you will derive many benefits from it. Much is possible beyond the realm of the physical body, particularly in the energy of the Creator, through which this meditation is to be conducted. I am Master Kuthumi, the creators of the 12D. The creators plus Archangels plus Ascended Masters equals the best possible future. We are here for you. We are the creators. We are a 12th dimensional collective of non-physical beings, and we are here to help you. We are exploring different possibilities with many other collectives in our dimension, and are in the process of reaching agreements on how best to assist humanity. We will never interfere with your path of spiritual evolution, but we know there are many different ways to help, and we constantly consult with other groups, other collectives, and other councils to find consensus on how we can work together to best serve humanity. We have found that one effective method for all of you is to place reminders along your path. We work with your guides and other helpers to insert various reminders into your reality that remind you of who you are, where you come from, and what you are doing. These are synchronicities. They are signs and symbols, designed to awaken some people, while for others they serve to remind you that you're on the right track, or that you should follow that inspired thought, that idea that just came to you. We want to help you achieve greater self-awareness. We want to infuse you with clarity through the energy transmissions we offer. We want to free your minds from excess clutter to remind you of what matters and to send you messages about who you truly are, infinite and eternal beings of light and love. These strategies are far more useful to all of you than simply giving you everything you ask for from an egoic perspective. You will continue to receive opportunities to serve, to love, to grow, and to connect, and all you have to do is follow the synchronicities and the feelings that lead you to those people and places that will take you to the next level of your spiritual evolution. You all have beautiful paths ahead, and you can trust that you will walk them. We want to make it easier for all of you to find every golden nugget along the way, so you can enjoy the experience and maximize the time you have in the physical realm of four-dimensional Earth. We are collaborating with the Ascended Masters and the Archangels to orchestrate these signs, symbols, and synchronicities to enhance your life experience on planet Earth. And we also want to ensure that everyone receives the necessary information, the downloads you need, and that they arrive at the right time. Therefore, we all work together here in the 12th dimension to do everything we can to help you join us in a state of peaceful, harmonious bliss. This is your true nature. It is your natural state of being, and you will return to it, regardless of how things may appear in your life right now. Keep in mind that you are also engaged in a collective journey with the rest of humanity, and we can see all the various possibilities for the human collective as well. We will continue to work with our companions, our colleagues, here in the 12th dimension, to ensure the best possible outcomes for the collective human consciousness on Earth. We are the creators, and we love you very much.